One of the best upgrades you can do to your gravel bike to unleash more performance, whether racing or adventure riding, is a good set of high quality wheels. And these days, there's plenty of choice from well-established brands. But one name that might not be on your shortlist is Campagnolo. However, that could all change today with the launch of the brand new Levante wheels. So these are the brand new Campagnolo Levante carbon fibre gravel wheels, and in this video we'll dive into all the details on them. We'll go for a ride and see how they perform and handle, and talk about whether investing or upgrading to a high-end carbon wheel set on your gravel bike is a good idea or not. Now, as you can see, the new wheels are rolling in the brand new Villiers Rave SLR gravel bike. I did a quick first look on this bike earlier this year, link down below in case you missed it. But there will be a more in-depth review on this bike now I have my hands on one, and I expect with Campagnolo's ECAR 1x13 group set as well, which I also reviewed previously, linked down below. But I've got some plans for the group set to do something a bit different and see how it handles road and all-road as well as gravel, which it's primarily designed for. So let's dive into some more details on the wheels before I get changed and go for a spin. Strictly speaking, these aren't the company's first gravel wheel set, because when they launched the ECAR 1x13 about a year ago, they also updated their Shimano carbon wheels. But these are much wider than their Shimano's, so Shimano take a step back as an all-road wheel set, and these take over as their flagship gravel wheel set. And it's all about being wider for gravel tyres like these. So these have a 25mm wide internal width compared to the 21 of the Shimano's, which plays better with wide tyres, from 38 up to 78 according to the company. So the rims are full carbon fibre, made using the same manufacturing process as we saw on the Bora Ultra WTOs I reviewed last year. And they have the same Sea-Lux shiny glossy finish, which looks absolutely amazing and also looks very, very expensive. And you might expect these wheels to cost £2,000, £3,000 maybe, but no, they cost just £1,349, which, yes, it's not cheap, but it's a lot cheaper than they look. I mean, they look really expensive. And that price is getting down to that very competitive £1,000 price bracket where we're seeing a lot of players, both from cheaper brands and also more established brands like Campagnolo and Zip and MV and others coming down to that price point as well. The wheels are tubeless compatible, but also clincher inner tube compatible as well. And rather than being hookless like many new wheels from the Zip and MV are, these use a new mini hook standard. I know what you're thinking, not another new standard, but when you read into the details, it's not really a new standard as such. Rather, they took the measurements, the standards for the current hook on a beaded rim and make it as small as they can to, in their words, offer the best of both worlds. The benefits of a hookless and also the safety benefits of a hooked rim. Another important consideration for anybody buying a gravel wheel set is durability, toughness and ease of maintenance and servicing, especially when you're out in the middle of the wilderness. And to that end, we have nice sensible details. So straight pull spokes, external nipples, regular spoke lacing, not the usual spoke lacing they use on other wheels. So that means you can easily replace a broken spoke in the middle of nowhere. It's a nice detail. And then the hubs have cup and cone bearings, so servicing maintenance should be easier. And we have their N3W free hub on these wheels, but you can run a Shimano or SRAM if you want as well. And the rims are fully sealed on the inside, so if you're running tubeless, there's no need for rim tape. So setting up tubeless and maintenance of tubeless should be a lot easier. On the scales, the wheels weigh 1,485 grams, which is par for the course for a wheel set like this. It's comparable to a Zip 303S, for example, but not as light as those MV G23s I reviewed a couple of years ago. So pretty good for the money, but not spectacular. Now, they look good, they sound good, but how do they ride? Let me get changed and we'll go for a spin. These wheels not only look fantastic, but also feel fantastic out here on the trail. Now, gravel riding means different things to different people and depends where you live. Even here on a small island of the UK, the variety of trails can be huge. For me, my local gravel riding consists of everything from narrow, bridleway, public access paths, which can be single track with routes to contend with, to wider, more typical gravel tracks and everything in between, even some cheeky mountain bike trails sometimes, and of course lots of roads, country lanes that link it all together. And sometimes paths that go right through the middle of a farmer's field full of crops. Look at this. So I want a wheel set that's fast and airy on the road to cover that sort of distance really quickly, but also tough and durable and wide for low pressure tyres off-road. And these wheels definitely feel good on the road, nice and fast, a bit of aero benefit, which you don't get from the Zip 101 Explore or the MV G23s, but not as aero as the Zip 303S. And then off-road, they feel responsive in the turns when you're twisting through the woodland trails. Nice pickup from that free hub when you're sprinting out the corners, and the wider rim width really supports low pressures and wide tyres, and that's the best benefit of these wheels over the Shimano's I used last year. So wider rim is really important on a gravel wheel set. Got nice wide tyres, you want to run them at low pressures, but do that on a narrow rim and you get that sort of light bulb effect, and it's especially apparent in the corners. The tyre can move around and squirm on that narrow rim. So a wider rim gives more support, a broader base for that wide tyre, and it feels much more predictable and much more stable in those corners, especially high speed sections. You're really pushing the bike hard into a berm corner or a rooty corner, and that tyre not twisting around on the rim just allows you to carry more speed, boosts your confidence, and gives you a better handling, a better feeding bike. Not something you see every day. The peacock. Hello, peacock. Now, peacock's aggressive, or can I ride past it safely? Wow. Isn't that amazing? Just, you know, something you see out here in the Cotswolds. Totally normal. I know some people have a concern around taking expensive carbon wheels off-road and smashing them into roots and rocks, and I totally get it. But having tested lots of carbon wheels on lots of gravel bikes over the last few years and ridden them in some tough places from the Italian Alps to the Scottish Highlands, I have no concerns around the durability or strength of a carbon fibre wheel set, even when fully loaded up for a bikepacking adventure. Maybe if you're doing an epic round the world trip, might a aluminium wheel set be a more reliable choice just for that peace of mind. For most riders, racing or adventure riding, I think carbon is just fine. And these definitely, so far, seem to be more than tough enough. Now, I must admit, I've not had them for long enough to really smash them through the grinder, but so far they've been absolutely fine, rock solid, dependable, and I haven't got any concerns about them long term, but I'll keep riding them over the next few months. Got a few plans for the bike and the groups as well, so keep watching the channel. So hopefully any durability long-term concerns will be answered over the next few months. So that was a lovely ride and hopefully gave you a flavour of what these new wheels are like to ride with. If we've been critical, they're not as wide as they could be, and other brands are going to 27 or even 30 in some cases internal rim width. So I definitely think Campagnolo are being a bit conservative and could have been bolder and going to a wider wheel set to really give a modern wheel set that will last a few more years, because I think these might become dated a bit more quickly. But they definitely are a step in the right direction and a big improvement over the Shimano's I rode last year. And the benefits, as I mentioned, just to recap, are running wide tyres. These aren't super wide, but I'll change these at some point in the future, at low pressures, and you've got nice stable handling in the corners, no tyre squirming on the rim. So more comfort as well from low pressures, and generally all the benefits you get from low pressures and none of the downsides you get from a wide tyre on a narrow rim. They definitely don't have the comfort of a Zip 101 Explore or an MV G23, but I think the Rave SLR frame set, which is very, very stiff. Probably has some factor in that as well. But comfort probably isn't as good as it could be. But on the flip side, these are definitely more aero. Got a nice 30mm rounded rim shape compared to those other two wheel set examples. So for speed, these definitely have an advantage. And generally, they feel really responsive, they feel fast, they feel rugged and durable. The free hub engages quickly. There's no flex or twist when you're pushing the bike hard into corners or over roots and rocks. So I think it's safe to say that investing in carbon fiber wheels for your gravel bike is a good way to unleash more performance, whether for racing or riding fast or bike packing and adventure riding. But the big downside to these wheels is the fact they're Campagnolo wheels, and you're unlikely, if we're being honest, to fit them to a Shimano GRX bike or a SRAM Rival Force E-Tap equipped bike. So that is a big limitation. But if you do have an ECAR 1x13 group set on your gravel bike and you want some new wheels and you want to stay within the Campagnolo brand, then these are really a no-brainer. Anyway, that is my first look review of the brand new wheels, and if you've got any questions, don't hesitate to put them down below in the comment section. And if you want to see my review of the ECAR group set from last year, then check this video right here. And don't forget to subscribe by hitting this button just here. But that's all for today, folks. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again very soon.